I'm Alex Palermo. Welcome to Third Eye Signs. It's a new show that we'll be doing a couple times a month as we build our brand, our channel, the Tremont Tea Room Online, or TTO as we're calling it. So the first thing they told me was I can't smoke on the air. So wait a minute. Oh, God, it's great being a mogul. All right, so our first guest for our first show, we pulled into the reaches here. We pulled into the big old bag of nepotism, and we got Joshua the Psychic, one of the Tremont Tea Room's former star psychics. Joshua, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
So you're now in the sunny city of LA, the city of angels.
I certainly am.
Well, we're going to get into your backstory, your history, but I also want to introduce to our folks at home my executive producer slash co-host slash, I don't know, social media guru, Robert. Robert, say hi.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Robert's like my Robin Quivers. Yeah. I'm going to call him Robert Quivers. That's it. His new name, Robert Quivers. Yeah.
Quivering.
I always wanted a white Robin Quivers. So
White
anyway,
and Irish and white.
this is supposed to be a serious show. I just, I was told, don't make it filthy like a radio show was. That's what I was told. So, no filth, just smoke. Okay, so, cigars. It's okay. I'm not inhaling. All right, so, Joshua, let's get into your story. You came to the tea room at a very young age. Can I tell you the story about what you said when you first walked into the tea room? Would that be all right?
No, because yeah, that wouldn't be all right, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's not the first time that I walked.
Guess that about you. Okay. So
No,
anyway,
the first time I walked into the tea room, I got read by Donna Watts. And,
not that time. The first time I saw you in the tea room.
Yeah, that's okay. I'd rather not tell that story.
I thought that was a funny story. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
No filth. It wasn't filthy. That was funny. So, Joshua, you came to the tea room in 1996, I believe, right?
I know it was 1995.
Oh, 95. Sorry. You know, when you get as old as me, things, slip off. So, tell us, you came in, I remember you came in for readings a couple times, and then you asked me if you could study with me, and we had an interesting friendship that alienated a lot of people and inspired others. It was very interesting. We had an interesting history. But anyways, back to your personal story. So you were at the Tremont Tea Room for the whole time you were at Emerson College.
Yes.
I remember we befriended a lot of your alcoholic friends from there. I'm just kidding. A lot of people, though, that Joshua had very interesting characters stop in. It was always an interesting healing circle when people from Emerson were there, right?
Yes.
Walking around saying, I am animal and vegetable and mineral. So what got you interested in astrology? You were basically studying astrology books when you were like 9 years old, right? Tell us your story.
Yeah, I was always interested in psychology. I was like brought up in psychology today, and then I got very pretty much.
That's where I went wrong. I was brought up on the Honeymooners. So go ahead. Sorry.
Interested in astrology, but then I realized not everybody was a block of cement, so not everybody could be put in this box of one of the 12 signs. So I wondered why, not all Leos were bossy and why not all Virgos were organized. So I had a lot of questions, and I wanted to delve deeper into it. And I realized, you have the rising sign and the Mercury, and the whole chart to take into consideration.
So, but you were young, you were 9 years old, and you had a subscription to Psychology Today, and you were reading probably Del Horoscope, right? And those little scrolls in the supermarket with your sign. Were you into that? Remember those? Did we lose him? Our first show, technical problems. Yep. Joshua's internet, by the way, was fine until a minute before the show. Bob, are we running the photos right now of 90s shots from the tea room?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about those for a second?
I see them. Yeah. Let's go over them until we get Joshua back. Let's run these again. So there's Joshua. Yep. It's spry, 20 years old, I think. There's Robert and Joshua and Simon. I did those pictures like the album. It was like the album cover. Let's look at a few more, Bob. Can we run those again? Oh, they're still running. Okay. There's the entrance shot, the beads to the tea room in the 90s when we're on Winter Street, nice shot at the top of Winter Tremont.
Yep,
Look at
right
that.
downtown Boston.
Yeah, and there's the Goddess. It was basically modeled after Harmony. And there's the main room. There's Kay on the wall and Peter. Oh, I miss them.
I know.
Oh, man, I spent a lot of money in that room. Just the walls alone, I think.
I know.
So there's Susan Shea, deceased as well. It's like the Dead Psychics Club. I think Hannah just died.
Oh,
We got a call from her and her daughter, and they never called back, so I think she died. There was Kay.
there was Peter, there was Simon.
There's Ed, who's a serial killer. No, I'm just kidding. So, just a joke. Don't sue me. It's satire. So there's Joshua again. Wow, I can't believe we lost him, right?
Wow, already, right? Did he come back?
I said,
Are you back, Joshua?
no, he's not here yet. We've lost him completely. Now, his internet was fine until we got on the air, right? Right. I just want to say that. I feel like Nancy Grace right now.
Well,
Look, Nancy Grace is on TV, Bob. There must be another little white girl missing. All right. So, right? She never had little black kids missing. Never. No, it's always little white girls. Yeah, I know. So, the other thing you shouldn't do on a YouTube show, by the way, is don't drink on the air.
yes. Don't drink, don't smoke.
Sorry about that.
Don't cuss.
Bob, on the replay, can you block out the brand thing? So fruity. I'd like to thank my sponsor for tonight's show, Dr. Bob. All right. So, only a few people are going to get that. Joshua, you're back.
I am back.
Mercury retrograde now because your internet was fine until we get on the air.
Yeah. Would you like to go through the pictures with us again, Joshua?
Yeah, we went through the pictures already. The first round, we talked about that till you got back. I want to get back to your story because I think you have an incredible story here. So, you studied with me. Asked me a million questions. I'd come home from working like a full day. We'd hang out on Friday nights a lot of times, and oh my God, remember Bob? You'd ask me so many questions. I would try to have patience.
We both were. Everybody asked you questions.
You'd be like, "What do you think the real basis of Camelot was versus a modernism?" I'm like, "What?" Like just crazy questions, So, anyways. Just questions I didn't even have the answer to sometimes. I'm like, I don't even know what you mean, So anyways, we studied. You studied with us. You worked at the tea room for how long? 7 years was it, or 5 years?
At least it was like on and off for
like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, I think 8 years on and off.
Because you would still do parties when you were in grad school and stuff, and had jobs. Your first few jobs here before you left the state. So then when he goes, I want to go to New York. So he says, I want to go to New York, Bob, right? First he says, well, maybe you should think about going. I'm like, I'm 38 years old. I'm not moving to New York. I'm not Rhoda. So anyways, he went to New York. we
have a moral
different ways, so to speak, but still good friends. And so, so Joshua goes to New York. Tell the story what happened, Joshua, because I love your version of the story. Go ahead.
So yeah, I went to New York, and I really wasn't planning on doing any readings in New York, because I honestly couldn't picture myself working anyplace else beside the tea room. I was very loyal to the tea room. And,
Joshua, I'm going to kill you. First show, your internet just went up. Go ahead. So you said you couldn't work anywhere but the tea room.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to do readings ever again, and I wound up going to New York for a fashion writing job, and they folded. So I was without any kind of work at all, and the only thing else I knew how to do was doing readings. So I wound up having to do that. So I put an ad online.
And so you hung up a shingle, as they say.
I hung up the shingle. I was really done with it. I thought I left that all behind, and I had really no choice but to do readings in order to put bread on the table. So I wound up putting an ad out, and I had some readings here and there. And one of these readings I did after. Like about 2 weeks later, after I read this girl, I got a call from a fact checker, and the fact checker said, I want to get all your information right because we're time out in New York and we're running a big psychic expose, and you did really well in the expose. So I was like, oh, okay, that's really great. So I gave her my information, of course, and I think the article came out in 2 weeks, and
basically, time out in New York named you the best psychic in New York. You were there 3 weeks or a month, right?
Yeah, I was their choice psychic. Like they would always, whenever there was anything psychic related, they would always call on me.
But basically, they said you were the best, right? Basically.
Yeah, they did an expose essentially, and this woman, this journalist Nicole Tourette, I believe her name is, she went
to a bunch of gypsy charlatans.
Right, and then she comes, she gave me five crystal balls. They weren't stars. 5 crystal balls, meaning that I was the best one. So. It was really really cool because I knew the article was going to come out on February 28th of 2008, and it may have been the 27th that it hit the shelves. I forget, but I remember walking down Broadway from 103rd and Columbus toward Barnes and Noble at 82nd and Broadway, and I remember walking really, really fast because I wanted to find out what this article was all about, and I really knew that it was either going to be really, really big or it was going to be nothing. So I get into Barnes and Noble and I open up the Time Out New York article, and right there to my page, I opened it up serendipitously, and it was my picture. I was like the full page of my face was in the cover of not in the cover, on the inside of the Time Out New York. So things really, really happened really fast after that. I had people from Japan calling me asking to speak to the famous Joshua the Psychic, and of course, like thousands of New Yorkers wanted to read with me, and it really put me on the map. So.
This isn't like a dig against you or anything like this, but I remember when one time one of the psychics in the team room, before I owned it, Tom owned it. He would be very supportive of psychics until they got a little bit too much more press than he did. and this one psychic was named the best. She was only there a month, literally. And the woman came in and named her the best psychic in Boston. And Tom was furious because everyone who called asked for her. And she literally blew up, right? And so one time I hear him on the phone, he goes, "Ma'am, basically, if I put HR Puffin stuff in the paper, you'd be caught up getting the appointment with HR Puffin stuff." You know what I mean? Like, he basically said that anyone who's in the paper saying they're the best is going to get busy, right? Obviously, but he was not doing it out of like, it was funny. Anyways, so you go to New York and you become the best psychic. Time Out New York uses you. Joshua the Psychic, Valentine's Day. Bob, do we have that clip right here? Is that it? No? Let's look at some of his clips, Bob. Let's look at that up. Wait a minute. We're putting these up. Oh,
Central Park.
Joshua in the leaves.
In Central Park, yeah.
Oh, Regis.
Yeah.
So I like when you read for Regis, because the best line, of course, was you had him pick a pile of the tarot cards, and you go, "Now is that your final answer?" And he goes, "Wise guy, huh?" Yeah. Oh, Life Spirits. You did something with them?
Yeah. I wound up auditioning with them and every other psychic in the world, it seemed like. We were a whole room of us.
That's why the psychic helps out for V-Day. So there we go. So basically, you were their go-to psychic the whole time you were in New York.
Yeah, well, I mean, once they put me in as their best psychic, they couldn't, like, renege that, right? So they kept...
Isn't it funny? You thought, I'm never doing readings again. I'm hanging up the crystal ball. I'm throwing up the Crowley deck. And all of a sudden, the universe had different plans for you.
Yeah.
And I think you became more of an astrologer-identified tarot reader in New York, where you really weren't using that as your identifier in Boston, right?
Yeah, very much so. Well, I studied astrology with the NCGR in New York City with Shirley Sofer and a whole bunch of really great New Yorkers, and I got deeper into it. And I felt confident running charts, and that was a really great way for me to enter the reading, to add that astrological, scientific aspect to it. And it's always how I prefer to do readings. I prefer to look at the chart because it gives me that logical hook that helps me to get into everything else, like a portal,
Let me ask you this. How long did you stay in New York?
8 years.
You know what they say, if you can make it there, you'll fail everywhere.
I hope that's not true, because I'm just
kidding. So you were there 8 years. That's a long time. Then you decide to pack up the shingle, and you moved to Los Angeles when? June of this year, right?
May, yeah, end of May.
May. Oh, okay. And someone said it was because of a grand jury investigation. No, I'm just kidding. Just a joke. So, all right. So, you know what I can't find? You're gonna kill me. I can't find my storyboard with my questions. I'll find it in a second. Okay. So, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I know. Yeah, I have my storyboard. All right. So let's backtrack a little bit before then. Tell me one of your favorite tea room memories.
One of my favorite tea room memories. I think it was really, when there was a lot of downtime, I would, not just ask, you questions, but, just sit at these tables of all these different psychics and, ask them all of their philosophies. It was questions that I usually thought I knew the answer to, and I would just, I'd pick everybody's brain. And, that was really my favorite part of it because, I think our professional lives really spilt over into our our personal lives, and you really got to know people. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a very, very strong education for me, not just doing readings and not just the training,
Right.
but actually being with all of those very talented people.
Right.
And you know, I mean,
So
they say
every memory was a favorite. Like, in other words, it was always a roller coaster ride, so to speak. You never, like, the team, we never knew if we went in at 11 that we were going to be out at 8 or midnight, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you were in it with everybody else, and I feel that you know, we were, you know, as an Aquarius, I'm really big into groups and community, and I'm very fortunate with the groups that I've had. But I have to say, my high school group was really great, and my tea room group, I think by far, it was the.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
No, I'm here.
Joshua, did we lose him?
Did we lose Joshua again?
No, I'm here.
All right. So,
Oh.
Joshua, you were in the New York Daily News.
I was.
WNBC's Kat Greenleaf featured you for a great piece on fashion, I believe, right?
Yeah, I predicted the cutout fashion trend because that's.
I predicted harem pants. So VH1's Love and Hip Hop, you did that, right?
Mhm. Yes,
and
that
then
was
last year
interesting.
you read Regis on Symphony Space, which is a pretty big thing, being a Regis, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really awesome. Yeah,
Did
he
he have
was-
a little angry, emaciated blonde woman screaming behind him? No?
No, she wasn't there, Kelly.
All right.
It's a shame. Yeah.
So let's go over your other story. Let's see. Well, we already talked about what got you started as a psychic. What was like working at the team? I'm going to my storyboard. See, I'm doing good. Well, you know, okay. So I think we've covered all these things already. What brought you to California? Yeah, was it about television? Because a lot of people go there to do TV. It's out you're out there for. Tell us, you know, what's the Scoobies? Why are you there?
Well, number one, I as I've grown older, I've become more of a summer, sunny kind of person, and I increasingly got more and more annoyed with the cold.
So you were sick of winter more than anything, but you love New York. You're not sick of the people, the attitude, the smelly chestnuts. That doesn't bother you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I said, so you didn't leave because of the people, the attitude, the smelly chestnuts in the winter?
Oh no, are you kidding? Nobody's going to beat New Yorkers. I love New Yorkers. You know, I really left. I left New York not just because of the weather, but I did want to look for other opportunities, and I did want to get more into television. And with New York, you know, you reach a certain point in which you have to continue working like a crazy person in order to, you know, afford your lifestyle. Because as soon as you're making a little bit more money, you need to have this and you need to have that. And you know, I was working like 75 hours a week, and
I remember when you were in Boston, you lived very frugally. You didn't make a lot of money. You were a college student and a grad student. I remember you go to New York and you were dead broke, like you said, and that company folded. You were having a rough time, and then you started doing readings. You were doing well, and then time out in New York, and I think you did a Groupon. And one day Joshua calls me. Guess what he's doing? He's having a rose petal milk bath in a salon. Yeah. I think that his bath probably cost more than like most families spent on dinner for a week. You know what I mean?
it was a scrub. In all fairness, it was a scrub.
It was a scrub. I'm sorry. But that has to be like, this is the guy who like would have like, you know, spread out nickels and eat nuts and water, you know, to spend his, you know, get his money, you know, spread out. So anyways, and I don't think you don't deserve a bath, like, especially at dealing with New York energy. So the thing about New York is you're a writer as well. We should mention your other job, your other career, and your other name is in writing. So it's kind of like a writer's thing. You do your time in New York City, and then you go out to LA and try to make the big bucks, which you're doing a little of, but you're still in that vein of like, I don't know if I'm a psychic, astrologer, or am I a writer, am I both, am I this, am I a TV star? So you're still trying to get all that worked out, right?
Yeah, I think that it's a process, and really I think that, you know, I'll try as many things as I can, and where I'm appreciated most, I think I'll stay.
So from an astrology perspective, how did moving there change you? Tell us about how it changed your, you know, rising sign and all that.
Well, in Boston, natally, I'm an Aquarius Rising, and believe it or not, my actual chart changes from Boston to New York, which doesn't happen often. So when I went to New York, I became a Capricorn rising. So the rising sign is how you navigate life. So in Boston, I would navigate life as a quirky Aquarius, you know, being innovative. But in New York City, I had to operate and navigate life as a Capricorn rising, which essentially meant that I had to come across as sort of superior, and I had to ooze competence, and you know, tell people what to do essentially, and just, you know, be a little bit. You know, I think honorary, really, and it did very well for me in New York City. But here in LA.
Oh, you're freezing. Hold on. Robbie, can we take something else up? I mean, those pictures are starting to get on me now. It's the dead psychics. Half of those psychics are dead. I mean, really. Literally dead. Literally. Like, they are so close to the other side, they're there now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. It's just a little depressing to see the same dead people over and over. Do you have anything else you can show us, Bob? Any other show and tell? Maybe the kid could come out and spray, something on the screen. I don't know. Bob's got the cutest little boy. He was so cute. We were playing before the show. I was putting on like different things in Google that you can put on, and I was making him laugh. We were having fun. So, Robert, you were there at the tea room during the time, and Robert's favorite line to me the whole time I was teaching you was, there will be a day where the student surpasses the teacher. Yeah, thanks, Bob. Thanks.
That was a little Yoda wisdom for you.
Yeah. So, Mercury retrograde's upon us. Let's talk about that, right? Because that's why we're here, right?
Oh, but just to finish what we started, I'm a Sagittarius rising here in LA, which essentially means that I could not pull that Capricorn crap here and be successful. I'd have to be a lot more laid back. So that's one of the things I do with my clients is I run their relocation charts and I help them navigate the terrain and help them move forward based upon how they're.
I thought it was interesting though that when you went to New York, that's when you started incorporating that chart reading into that with the tarot cards. Like you never did that in Boston. That was like a New York thing that you now have carried into LA and probably perfected to a great level.
Very much so, yes.
If I'm born under retrograde, how does it affect me? Why am I looking at you over there? How does it affect me? Let me put you up on the main screen. There we go.
All retrograde planets, when people are born with them, it just essentially things happen it's inverted. So, but it's hard for you to actually with it. So it's almost like trying to start up your engine. People with Mercury retrograde born, they have a very, very strong internal process, intellectual process, but other people might not always see that. But you weren't born under a retrograde, were you?
Yes, I was.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. My natal Mercury's retrograde, of course.
Huh.
Yeah, and my brother's was too.
Okay, I thought it was just his. I didn't think it was yours.
Both of us, yeah.
Okay.
I was born with like 3 or 4 planets retrograde, and like 3 or 4 in the detriment. I was like born under a bad sign, Yeah. So, but again, everything can be balanced out. Look at that beautiful picture from the tea room behind me. Look at that shot. Isn't that nice? I have like the tea room inside my apartment until we have a new space for the tea room. So it's kind of like half gay bar, half tea room here. In my beach house here, bungalow. So Joshua, let me ask you this. The Mercury retrograde is going to be in which signs?
The sign of Aquarius.
Yes, your sign.
It is my sign, yeah.
What does this mean for like Aquarians and for everyone?
Well, it really is about where Aquarius falls in your chart.
For Aries, it will affect friends, groups, networks, teams, clubs, societies, bands, charities, social media. For Taurus, it'll be career, university life, nonprofit roles, business, industry, social status. What do you have to add for Aries and Taurus, how they'll be affected by this retrograde, Joshua? I would love your opinion before you lose your call.
Yeah, I think that it's insight into friends and your goals and your ambitions. And you might, a great time for an Aries to reconnect with an old friend, Oh,
nice. So all about their personal network as well.
Very much their personal, and it's all about why. Like it's introspective. So Aries might gain insight as to why they've joined these certain groups and why they're friends with these different people. And it's also really great for forming public relationships and harvesting something from the past in like a new form. Especially pertaining to groups.
So for Geminis, it could affect travel, foreigners, publishing, internet, academia, and education.
Absolutely, yeah. They're going to take a look at their their truth essentially. That's what the 9th house is about. It's all about their truth and their philosophy and their belief systems and structure. So
for Leos, it's about partners, former partners, potential partners, enemies, rivals, and opponents.
Yes, yeah. They're gonna understand about how they communicate with people in their relationships, especially, and insight into what makes their partner tick.
For Virgos, it sounds like that 1 week of the year they might be at the gym. Lifestyle, workload, body, health, career, routine, service, duty. It sounds like they're regular sign stuff anyways, right? No? We lost you, Joshua? He would agree with me. Are you there, Joshua?
We lose Joshua again.
Yeah. So for Libras, it's about children, godchildren, youth, teenagers, babies, sex, and intimacy. That sounds pedophilia to me. I don't know. Kind of weird. Babies, children, teenagers, and sex. You know, it's kind of weird. Scorpios, house, flat, family, town, country, household, landlords, tenants, builders. So Scorpios, it's in your home sector. Sagittarians, you'll be affected by this retrograde with the internet, computers, phones, media, publishing, communications, and transportation. Capricorns, I'm afraid for you, it's going to be all about money, business, settlements, banks, salary, debts, business, charity, possessions. Dare we say forbearance? Aquarians, it's going to be about your image, your identity, your profile, your appearance, your publicity, your reputation, photographs and videos, all about your image. Oh, there he is. He's back. What do you think about that? What do you have to add for Aquarians? How's this going to affect them in the retrograde, Joshua?
I think that it's going to help them to, the first house is also about the aura, and of course, like attracting like, you want to make sure your aura is as clean as possible, and you put in your aura what you want to attract. So Aquarians can really look at their energy and really work.
We lose him? You there, Joshua? Remember, kids, only smoke on the internet. All right, so
there he is. He's back.
Here I am.
Pisces, secrets, buried information, classified documents, confidential matters, uncredited roles, Area 51. Very mysterious, huh?
Yeah.
So Pisces are going to find out about their father's other child that they never knew about, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, and also they might be able to really connect with their past lives, right?
And find out that they were adopted, maybe, or some other stuff, like their mother or something, or for years. I think for Pisces, what I was looking at when I ran reports, in some of the programs, what he kept talking about was unburying secrets that they didn't know about. So that's why I put that there. It was really, really, like 2 different programs. It was really specific about it that I ran aspects with. So there's a lot of activity in Aquarius, the sign where Mercury will appear to move backwards in January, just appear to move that way, remember. As a result, you will no doubt want to make plans, speed up, focus hard in the area of your life that they described above for Aquarians, remember, about, again, Aquarians, image, identity, profile, appearance, publicity, reputations, photographs, and videos. Joshua, not a good time to do a new photo shoot in the leaves. I don't think so. But Joshua, here's something interesting too that's happening on top of the Mercury in Aquarius retrograde. I don't know what you think of this. So Venus enters Aquarius at 2:29 p.m. on Saturday the 3rd, which it did. That's not what I want to say though. Hold on. Oh, it's down here. Hold on. So there's actually the next 2 new moons, which is very rare, are going to both be in Aquarius.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
That's odd. Did you know that? That doesn't happen often. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's very odd. Very odd,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be very
February's
interesting.
new moon and January's new moon will both be in the sign of Aquarius.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And do you think Aquarians are very eclectic?
Eclectic?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they can. I think they can be. I think Aquarians are so weird that it's really hard to really lump them all together.
Yeah,
Unlike any.
They tend to have eclecticness about them, don't you think? No.
Yeah. I think so. I think I'm eclectic.
Yeah. Well, most fixed signs are eclectic of it, don't you think? No.
I mean, I see fixity as more a matter of they have like a focus and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, you cut out on me. Can you repeat the last sentence?
Sorry.
Listen, Christ, this is not a filthy show about Christians. Please stop. No, I'm just kidding. So, Christ had nothing to do with this. Oh, Kristen says you're horrible. That's what she said. Okay. What? I'm horrible. Why? All right. How will the retrograde affect me? Date of birth, 11/10/81. How will it affect her?
But if she is, it's going to affect her home and family because she's a Scorpio. Returns from her past, and she might get new information or a new perspective about home and family.
Ooh.
And something that she might be putting off around the house, she can finally get to now. Anything like renovating or changing her.
Changing her. We lost you.
Her home or her apartment furniture.
Okay.
I would also look at this as a really great time to reconnect with family. Scorpios tend to have a lot of intensity around their family, and I think now might be a really good time to really reconnect and to heal. I think that would be the best use for a Scorpio with this retrograde, to reconnect and to heal with family and home. Especially mother. Like that's the best use for a Scorpio during this time.
I would agree with that too. Don't you think also those Scorpios will probably have to deal with I want to say like home repairs, things like that, or no?
Oh, absolutely. Anything dealing with home or family, and you got to remember though that the actual home is a metaphor for a mother and for where you were born, like the home you grew up with. So one really connects with the other. I would just look at healing both, and definitely any repairing or any renovating is definitely a good idea into this retrograde.
All right. So let me ask you this. Do you think that there's something that everyone should know? Like, if there's one thing that would apply to all signs, like what do you want people to know to like really be careful of and really be aware of?
I think the main thing is that not to look at the retrograde as a negative thing. I would look at it as really looking at it being a perfect universe, and that it's like traffic. Like we need traffic or else we'll never slow down. And we're constantly processing information, and it's really a great time to go inward and really fix what you might be going too fast to fix on a regular basis. So I really look at this retrograde as an opportunity as opposed to a nuisance.
That's a great way of saying it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think will happen with world politics or world scenes or celebrities, or what about the Oscar awards right now? So Aquarius humanitarian interest is a big thing happening about the Oscars. Now remember the Academy itself is like what 94% white anyways. So all the nominees are white, no black nominees. How is this playing by the retrograde? What will the retrograde do to this issue? Will we have another Ferguson on our hands?
With all the actors and actresses? I don't think so. But
Alfred Woodward cut a bitch? No.
I do think that with Aquarius being so much about equality and about humanity, it makes sense that everybody is, people are going to be very, very focused on equal rights and making sure that everybody is treated fairly. Aquarians are known for their humanitarian passion, and they're...
Are they really? You mean in general?
I think in general, humanity, and I think that humanity is really what they fight for. I think that what they say, Aquarians love humanity, but they hate people.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't, that's an exaggeration. But I think that's why so much stuff has happened. I think when Mars entered Aquarius was when the Ferguson riots actually started. And the protest started when Mars entered Aquarius, and that made perfect sense astrologically because, Aquarians are all about protest and rebellion and iconoclasm and all of that stuff. So, So I think that there'll be some kind of reform, and I think that people also, when the Sun enters Aquarius, we're going to have more of a perspective. So either we'll see the logic of everything, and either we'll say, okay, yeah, this is a problem, or actually it's not a problem. We've blown things out of proportion. So we'll get more of a detached perspective when the Sun enters Aquarius and Mercury goes retrograde in Aquarius.
I think that sums it up. Robert, you have anything to add?
I have nothing to add. I'm the last person to ask astrology questions.
Now, Lady June used to say not to do, was it not to do magic under retrograde, not to do rituals? Is that what she used to say? Or was it under Void of Course Moon? What am I thinking of?
Of course, Moon is what witches have a tendency to believe, and that makes sense, I guess. Void of Courses means nothing will come for it. But retrograde happens 3 or 4 times a year, and then if it's
I thought she wouldn't do rituals under retrograde, though. I thought she would even wait till after the retrograde sometimes.
I don't know what she thought.
Robert, you studied under Lady June, no? Is that not her thing, or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, I studied under Lady June for a while, and that was one of her things.
Ah, okay.
It was. Like, she didn't want to do anything during the retrograde, but also she wasn't very tech-savvy either, anyways.
But I think that's really foolish because, what do? We can't hide under the covers. Does that mean, we're not supposed to write emails under the retrograde, that we're not supposed to go to work, that we're not supposed to drive our cars? I mean, you have to just go forward doing what you want to do. Don't, what is it they say? A wise man follows the stars, but only a fool is ruled by them.
I know Joshua does magic under retrograde. I certainly know from the last 4 days of my life, but yeah. But so, I think that what you have to do, as any magician would know, is all magic is about making certain changes. So I think that what that would mean is that you would just handle your magic, your ritual in a different way because of the retrograde, right? You would modify it, like a retrograde modifier, in other words.
Yes, and always in.
Oh, how does he always get stuck on like stroke face every time? Look. There we go.
I would modify anything as far as ritual or any project that I was doing. I would modify it according to the elements. Because
that would explain my weekend. No.
I would not let a retrograde stop me. But I also believe that once you know what the thing's about, you know how to deal with it now. You got knowledge is power, you know. So I figure if someone's working a spell under a retrograde and doesn't understand what it is, they'd have more difficulties than someone that, just watches the show and now understands.
Well, I want to thank everyone out there. I'm sorry for the technical problems, but hey, it's a Mercury retrograde show. What'd you expect, right? I know we joked about this. We joked about this, right?
We did.
Oh, bye, Joshua. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Poof. Okay. My name is Alex Palermo, and I am part of the Tremont Tea Room, a wonderful collaborative of many talented souls and individuals. You can reach us at tremonttearoom.appointee.com. We are the oldest and first psychic salon ever. And since 1936. You can reach us for readings, and you can also reach us. Next show will be in about 2 weeks, Bob, like twice a month, we're saying?
Yeah, we can do it in 2 weeks. We can do it on the new moon or every retrograde.
Maybe on the new moon, I think. New moon, because it's not retrograde every month. So, next full new moon, we'll see you then. You're the ox. Right? You're the ox? Yeah, Bob's like, Bob, just nod. Yeah,
yes.
You look smarter.
You are correct, sir.
So, yes, I want to thank you all for joining us. I hope you'll download this. Obviously, we knew we weren't going to get a lot of live people because of the Patriots. It's our first thing, but we're getting better at it. And don't forget, Tremont Team Online is a channel. We'll have other shows being added, like The Teacup Turns and Inside the Life of Crazy Danielle. It's an untitled project right now, but we have that. I'm calling it Project Lesbian, but Danielle's going to have a show, Danielle, where she goes to everyday people that we pass on the street, and she gets their story. It's going to be really nice. Yeah. Joshua, are you thinking about doing a show for us now and then? Maybe a special now and then, like,
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
You could stand outside the Berlin Wall and say, Mr. Gorbachev, take down this wall! Or something like that. You know what I mean?
I think I did that back in the 80s.
Yeah. You could stand outside of, like, MGM and say, give Denzel Washington a real movie, That's probably why there is no Black Oscars nominations. I mean, they keep giving Denzel Washington shit movies to do. And then they gave him a shit TV show. Didn't he do Ironsides, or was that Blair Underwood? I get them confused. All right, so anyways, Joshua, thank you so much for being us. If anyone wants to get a hold of you, it's joshuathepsychic.com, right?
No, it's Psychic Joshua. But you can look up Joshua the Psychic, and you'll find me, but it's psychicjoshua.com.
Psychicjoshua.com, and you're also in Yelp in the Los Angeles area, one of the most rated psychics. And how are the LA psychics treating New York psychic? Like, are they all snooty and like, I play with crystals? I'm friends with Barbara Streisand. Like,
I don't know. I avoid them.
Well, one LA-based one, Seamus, right?
Oh, well, Seamus is in a class all by himself, so he's excellent. All right,
well, there we go. That was a good answer. Good cop out there.
No, he is.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, folks. Thank you. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but Joshua's expertise is available to you at a nominal fee. Just contact him through his website and contact the Tea Room at 617-338-8100. Robert, we'll see you in 2 weeks on the new moon.